Okay, well, hello, buenas tardes, everybody. It's been a while since I've had a new video for you. Yeah, in this video that I want to present for you guys today, I want to go and tell a little bit more about how the discussion forums work for for your Daughter of Fortune groups. By now, you should be able to see which groups that you belong to in terms of the Daughter of a Fortune reading. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about how to post your comments. That is, what it is exactly you have to do for this part of the Daughter of Fortune stuff, so to speak. As you know by now, you have two parts to work with in terms of the Daughter of Fortune readings. You've got the discussion forum part, and then a little bit later on, you've got the videos to present with respect to your Daughter of Fortune characters. I'll talk more about the characters portions a little bit later on. I've got at least a couple of videos in which I'll talk more about that in detail. But first, let me go ahead and show you what it is you have to do with respect to posting your comments in the Daughter of Fortune groups section. We still have a couple of weeks. Couple of weeks away before the Daughter of Fortune readings kick in. So until that time, let me show you what it is you have to do in terms of posting your comments. So the first thing you want to do right now, everybody, is of course go into the Daughter of Fortune groups section. So let's go ahead and click that right now. I'm using the Camtasia software to record this video. So let's click Daughter of Fortune groups and let's see what. In fact, let me just make one quick adjustment right here. Okay, I want to make sure this is in a student vision mode, so to speak. All right, so let's click Daughter of Fortune groups and let's see what we have here. Okay, I have the class, and by this information is for the section 3269 class. Those of you who are in section 7720, the information that I have here will be a little bit different in terms of the names of people from the class. But don't worry, even though the names are a little bit different for those of you in section 7720, the content, the scope that I'm presenting here is for all intents and purposes the same between section 3269 and section 7720. So for those of you again in 720 section, don't worry too much about the names. The formatting is essentially the same. Okay, at this point in time, if you haven't checked which groups you're in, what you need to do is just go ahead and click the groups icons right here, the groups links, and this will tell you exactly which groups you're in. So for those of you in section 3269, let me go and click group 1, and you see who's in which groups. So everybody from Armando to April, you guys are in group 1. Again, this is for those of you in section 3269. Let's backtrack to the groups section here. Let's see who's in group 2. In group 2, okay, everybody from Charles to Tyler, you guys are in group 2. Again, this is again for section 3269. Section 720, of course, your names are different. And let's see who's in group 3 in section 3269. So we click group 3, and it's everybody from Melissa to Francesca. So Melissa to Francesca, all of you are in group 3, and again, this is for those of you who are in section 3269. So what you need to do, so now that you know which groups you're in, whether you're in section 3269 or section 7720, now as you get ready to get going in the Daughter of Fortune readings, which will be coming up within about a couple of weeks down the road, so not too far off in the horizon. Here's what you need to do. So let me go ahead and backtrack to the groups area, and let's go ahead and excuse me. Let's go into group 1 from section 3269, and here's what you need to do. Okay, so all this information that I have for you here, basically the formatting, the structure applies to everybody depending on which section of the class, no matter which section of the class you're in, that is whether you're in section 3269 or section 7720, but for all intents and purposes, the formatting and the structure is the same across the board. So for those of you in group 1, no matter which section you are in the class, if you're in group 1, you work on chapters 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, and 19 from Daughter of Fortune. Likewise, if you're in group 2, whether you're in section 3269 or section 7720, if you're in group 2, you work on chapters 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20. And then for those of you in group 3 in both sections, again, section 3269 and 7720, if you're in group 3, you work on chapters 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Those are the chapters that you'll be working on. So there's no, shall we say, intergroup communication. For all intents and purposes, your discussions are to remain within your group. That is, whether you're in groups 1, 2, and 3, no matter which section that you're in. So let's stick with the group 1 in the section 3269 class. So you guys will essentially be my guinea pigs for the rest of this video, in which I explain what it is you have to do. So in group 1, again, you work on chapters 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, and 19. And again, here's the roster of everybody in the group. To get to the discussion questions, what you need to do is scroll down a little bit here to where it says Group Discussion Board. When you click that, that leads you into the discussion board itself. And what I have for those of you in group 1, and again, this information applies equally to those of you in section 3269 and section 7720. What I have here for you in group 1 are the list of study questions pertaining to the various chapters 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 10, 13, 16, and 19. And here in chapter 1, when you go through the readings in chapter 1 of Daughter of Fortune, you've got a series of discussion questions here. What I'd like for each of you in group 1 is to choose one of these questions to discuss and give me a detailed answer about the particular question. So there should be enough questions for everybody. In some cases, there might be more people than questions, but if that's the case, then definitely let me know, and most likely what I'll do is I'll write up a separate question for you so you can answer in case you don't have any more questions in case there aren't any more questions for you to choose from, because everything has been filled up because there are more people in the group than there are questions. I don't anticipate that to be a problem, but if that is going to be a problem, let me know immediately. I'll rectify that, and I'll make sure that there are plenty of questions for everybody to go around, no matter whether you're in groups 1, 2, or 3. Even no matter which section of the class you're in, that is, whether you're in section 3269 or section 7720. So for chapter 1, and this information applying to group 1, I've got a series of questions pertaining to chapter 1 of Daughter of Fortune, the Eliza chapter in Daughter of Fortune. I've got a series of 10 questions right here, and I've got a due date here Sunday, October 18th. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do at this point. This is the first thing you need to do. Those of you in group 1, choose a question. Let me know which question it is that you want to work on. And to do that, to inform me about the question you want to work on, click the link right here where it says Chapter 1 Eliza, because that's what's going to open up the discussion board itself in which to post your actual questions. So much like the regular discussion board in Blackboard, whether it's for this class or for maybe in some of your other classes, what you need to do right now, group 1, is to click the link right here where it says Chapter 1 Eliza. And the first thing you'll see right here is a thread that I started, El Profesor started right here. And in this thread right here, I'm asking everybody, please inform me of your question choice. I'm going to do this for everybody, no matter which section of the class you're in, either 3269 or 7720, whether you're in groups 1, 2, or 3. I will have this this thread in every form, all of the forms in which I say, what questions do you want to work on, everybody? What are your question choices? Let me know. Reply to me right here. So if you go ahead and click this, again, where I say, please inform me of your question choices. Okay, I just mentioned, hey, group 1, I'd like to get your choices for the questions you'd like to cover. Please let me know by replying to this message, and I'll be anxious to get your response. What you need to do, group 1, is let me know what question do you want to work on. So if anybody wants to work on question 1 from the form, click reply. Let me know, hey, Profesor, I want to work on question 1. Can you reserve that for me? If anyone else comes in, Professor, I want to do question 4. Please reserve that for me. And then maybe someone else might say, Mr. Cañedo, if you don't mind, I'd like to answer question 7. Please reserve that for me. So Depending on what question you want to work on, let me know. Notify me of your choices. All you need to do is click a reply, indicate that in the subject heading, and you're good to go, so to speak. What I want to do is make sure that everybody chooses at least one, that is one question per person. What I don't want to see is one person get greedy and answer two or three questions, or 3 or 4 questions. Or maybe 2 people work on one question. No, it's basically the way it works is that one question per person, everybody. Let me know what question you want to work on. Click reply. Tell me which question you want to work on. And then a little bit later on, before the due date, and the due date I have here, and we'll go back to the okay, we'll go back to the main discussion board in a minute. I have a due date here of Sunday, October 18th. Sunday, October 18th is when I want your what I call original comments. What I mean is this. That's the date in which I want you to tell me, in which I want you to answer the question that you're working on. So, for example, let's say one of you wants to answer question 3. So by Sunday, October 18th, answer that question. Answer the question about what was happening in the summer, so in the early 1832. What are some of the social and political events happening in the United States in 1832? You might want to use Hubble America information to help you address that question. So, in other words, the Sunday, October 18th due date means that's when I want you to reply. That is, answer the question. What is the answer to that specific question? But that's not the end of it, Group 1. What you need to, that is, when you choose your question and then reply to it, you've fulfilled one part of the equation, so to speak. You've given me what I call your original comment. That is, you've chosen a question and you've replied to it. That's your original comment. But you're not done yet, because what I want from each of you in Group 1 is to give me 5 total comments. What I mean by 5 total comments is that you give me 1 original comment, that is the answer to the question that you've chosen, and also 4 replies, 4 responses. What I mean by that is these are replies in which you respond to somebody else in the class, or you reply to me as well. So those are the 5 total comments that I want you to have between now and the end of the semester. So Sunday, October 18th is when I want you to answer the question that you've chosen. But anytime after that, all the way to the end of the semester, post at least 4 replies, 4 responses. And by replies and responses, I mean you reply to me, or you reply to somebody else in group 1. Let me better illustrate how this works. Let me go back into Group 1 itself, and I'm going to choose one of you to be my guinea pig, so to speak. Okay, let's go with Donald. Let's say Donald, and let's go back into the group discussion board. Okay, let's say, Donald, let's say you want to answer the question about the siblings family. That's question 5 right here. Compare and contrast the personalities of the Summers siblings, Rose, Jeremy, and John. So what happens, Donald, is that before October 18th, first off, you let me know that you want to answer question 5, and then before October 18th, you reply to that question about the Summers siblings, Rose, Jeremy, and John, by October 18th. But you're not done yet, Donald, because even though you've given me your original response to question 5, you still have 4 more things to do. You have to give 4 replies within the form itself, and to do that, you can reply to me or to somebody else in the group. So, for example, let's say, Donald, that you gave an answer to question 5, and then I wrote back to you and said, yes, Donald, that's a very good point that you make, but don't you think that that Rose, Jeremy, and John had these ideas, these mentalities, these perspectives because of this, blah, blah, blah. So I reply to you, Donald, in that manner, and then you reply back to me. When you reply back to me, that counts as one reply. And you do that three more times, so that gives you 5 total comments in the form. Let's say I replied to somebody else in the group. Let's say maybe it was Dario. Let's say Dario worked on question 7, and then I replied to Dario, and then Donald, you reply back to my response to Dario. So you can do that. So in your response in that thread right there, in which I'm talking to Dario. So if you reply back to me with respect to Dario's comment, let's say Dario answered question 7. Dario says one thing, I reply to him, and then Donald, you come back and say, yes, Professor, but I really agree with what Dario was saying here because of this and that, blah, blah, blah. So when you write that, Donald, that also counts as a as reply. So that gives you 2 replies. That is, you replied to me because I answered your comments about question 5, and then you replied back to me because I replied to what Dario was saying in terms of question 7. So that gives you 2 extra comments right there. That gives you 3 total. So just do the same with others with others in the group. Anytime between October 18th and the rest of the semester. So as long as you have 5 total comments in the course of the discussion thread, then you're good to go. So in other words, you've got to give me 1 original comment, that is Donald. Again, getting back to question 5, you tell me, Professor, I want to answer question 5, and then you reply to that. That's the original comment, and then your 4 other replies after that, whether it's to me, whether it's to Dario, or whether it's to me replying to Dario. You get the idea. Those 4 extra replies besides your original comment, that will give you 5 total replies for the forum, and once you've done that, then you're good to go, so to speak. That pretty much fulfills your obligations for the forum. So you do that for the rest of the semester on into chapter 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, on into 19. So everybody in group 1 follow that format. That is, you reply to the question that you want to work on. That's your original comment, and then post 4 replies after that, whether it's to me or anybody else within your group. Do that with all of the forms until the end of the semester. So what I've explained here applies to group 1, but group 1 in section 3269, but group 1 in section 7720, you do the same process. And then likewise, groups 2 and 3, you do the same procedure and format as well. Okay, all right, so we'll get going on this coming up at the middle part of October, but I figured it's important to give you a sense in terms of what you had to do before we start getting going on this. Any concerns or questions about this, definitely let me know. But I figured it's important to give you this video at least a couple of weeks ahead of time before we actually get going with the Daughter of Fortune readings. All right, everybody, I think that pretty much covers it. So again, each of you has to give me 5 replies per form. That is 1 original comment and 4 replies, responses to others within the group, including me, El Profesor, in each of the forms. I will be an active participant in all of the forms, no matter if it's section 3269 or section 7720. Of course, there might be some confusion as we get going, but don't worry about that. I'll be sure to clear things up once we get going with the Daughter of Fortune readings in a couple of weeks down the line. So hope that helps everybody. Again, let me know if any concerns or questions pop up, and I'm looking forward to talking about the story with all of you. And don't go away too far, because within a week or so, I will give you another video in which I talk about how to actually post your videos about your Daughter of Fortune characters before too long. But in the meantime, let's get going with the discussion forums. We'll start getting going on that very soon. All right, everyone, that's it from me, El Profesor. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.